starting, however, it's not too much of a disparity like we did see in other games. Dracotail does have a lot of tricks to sort of offset what a developed Radiant Typhoon board can do, but maybe Dom has some tricks up his sleeve and he's managed this matchup. He did have that record in Swiss, as you mentioned before, so he's definitely been here before.
As a Noble Knight Shield Bearer, I also saw a Fallen and Virtuous in his hand as well.
That's always good to see. We're seeing both parts of the engine here. Shield Bearer going for the Eldom once again. And then we see a Droll and Lockbird. Oh my goodness, does Dom have anything else available here? That is incredible from Jesse. Droll and Lockbird recently added to the semi-limited list, so Jesse did have the one of two Droll and Lockbird in his deck, in his opening hand. And if you're Dom, you're not happy to see it, but is that maybe a call by the grave?
If it was, you would imagine it comes down straight away, but I see an Ash Blossom. I saw a Fall in the Virtuous. I think he might just be evaluating his options at the stage, see if able to just pass without much play with the spells in his hand.
Just trying to figure out, is this efficient to use all of these cards to stop one Droll and Lockbird, or can I continue otherwise? No, so it was a, I believe, Vision. Chant?
The Chant?
Yep.
Chant, which... Well, with these being quick play spells, you can actually activate them in response to Droll and Lockbird as well, to be able to mitigate some of its impact on your deck.
Yeah, it's more unfortunate in this strategy when you do draw additional monsters, because you usually can't, get that value compared to being able to chain a quick play to the Droll and Lockbird.
Yep. You can see his hand is the Eldon, the Ash Blossom, and a number of spells. I think there was a Droplet.
Yeah.
Droplets, this is Fall in the Virtuous.
Ash Blossom and the Eldom. Okay, so almost face up here. And we do know that the Dracotail deck does have a good time into a lot of these set cards that decks like Radiant Typhoon would be setting. The Mystical Space Typhoon is good, but if Jesse has a hard-drawn Rahu or a Kitu, the Mystical Space Typhoon is not doing that much. If Jesse does have to set those cards, Mystical Space Typhoon is going to be doing quite a lot.
Yep, so we have to Fall in the White Dragon. It's been a very powerful card this entire weekend across multiple decks.
Yep, Jesse being able to get access not only to a Cartesia to fuse with, but also even the Fallen and Virtuous, which we've seen be the decision maker for a lot of these matches as well. I feel like every deck is just playing it. Maybe except for Destin and the VSK9 deck, but otherwise Radiant Typhoon and Dracotail branded definitely are playing it. The Dom considering his options here, would it be the Droplet or the Ash Blossom? Obviously the Fallen and Virtuous in chain here.
And he might look to, in response to Ecclesia's effect, use Forbidden Droplets to stop it as well. Is that...
I do think it does need to banish to be able to summon here.
Yep.
So that is the main goal for Dom, trying to get as much value as he can into these really efficient cards that Jesse has been presenting. Jesse looks like he doesn't really have too much else going for him. He's sort of evaluating the situation, but taking his time, and usually when Jesse does have a play, he'll just pop those cards on the field and go from there. So maybe just trying to work out, hey, can I afford to do anything here? Will this cost me in the long term?
Well, it is the finals. You want to take some time to consider your plays. You've come this far. Like you've played for 15 rounds. What's another 10 seconds of thought?
Exactly. Everyone else is waiting on them, not anything else. So we'll let them have as much time as they require. That's why these finals are now untimed. You see a Rahu.
Like a Rahu Dracotail?
Yeah, a Rahu, a Sting, and he drew Kitu and Rahu, making that Mystical Space Typhoon almost irrelevant here. Do we see an Ash Blossom coming down from Dom?
Yeah, nice to see some back and forth gameplay, definitely.
There's going to be some crucial decision making, mostly because if Dom were to Ash this, I think Jesse would be able to resolve the Rahu, but not particularly sure if it's going to be that impactful, because he is kind of light on cards. But if he lets the Kitu resolve and then Ash the Rahu, it could sort of lock Jesse in this weird situation of not being able to do anything.
Oh, he's really thinking on it. Does go with
Ash
it.
on the key 2 here. Maybe just thinking, okay, well, if you have Rahu, then that's one other chance you need to have a monster to go with it. So we'll see how this one does go. We see the Rahu being activated here.
Yep, he's using the Fall under the White Dragon in his hand. He's really thinking about what he sends.
Maybe just trying to identify, can I access Dracotail cards at a later point? Would he, be able to go for an Urgula, be able to get rid of a set spell or trap, going for Lucius instead?
Yep. For the Australian. Australian and Lucius being able to use their effects now.
Yep. So we'll see if Dom opts to use the Forbidden Droplet. He is very low on cards, though. So using this Forbidden Droplet now would mean he gets rid of either the Mystical Space Typhoon, and he'll net back a Fallen and Virtuous in the end phase, but it won't directly help against cards like Dracotail Sting, Dracotail Horn, or Dracotail Flame, as well as even Jesse's Fallen and Virtuous.
Does have the Dracotail Flame set now. That does make Dom's Mystical Space Typhoon live.
So Dom opting to not activate the droplet on the Arthelion, looking at letting Jesse summon it out and then going from there. So it looks like Jesse will summon the Lucius, adding the Phimena, if Dom allows it.
So now you can do the Mystical Space Typhoon chain droplets as well.
Definitely can, and we get the extra value here. That looks like what Dom was waiting for. Definitely a heads-up play there, extracting all value where he could.
What's next? What's the follow-up? I think Dom is left with just the Eldom in hand. And he'll get a Fallen and Virtuous during the end phase.
Yep, and Jesse will also get a Fallen and Virtuous in the end phase as well, with a Dracotail Sting in hand. So we'll see if this can work out for him. We do have to remember we are, in the battle phase here. Jesse did go second, so he is able to attack, and that will, present a good chunk of damage as well.
Yep, does the Lucius have the standard 1800 attack, or is it a 1600 attack?
I could not remember for the life of me. Part of me does think it is a high enough attack to attack over cards like Cartesia or Ecclesia, but I could be incorrect. Also, something worth noting as well, Jesse does have the option to add back the Incredible Ecclesia too, so that's just going to be another card that he could potentially fuse with on Dominic's turn.
Yep, so Lucius actually falls into the category of level 4 search monster with 1800 attack, so it does present a huge chunk of damage.
So it is halved from the Forbidden Droplet, so
yep.
39 taken, we're at 41. That is basically halfway there.
Yeah, but we know in this game all you need is a single life point to be able to win. It's the duel's not over till your life points hit 0.
The Asia triggering, as well as the Albion, I believe. I think he did just point at that for fun. No concerns there. And then it looks like the... Oh, it was the Ecclesia. Okay.
Yeah.
No problem there. And then Dom also getting the Fallen and Virtuous to his hand too. Regardless of this, Dom is still on the back foot. He's very low in cards. He does need something, maybe like a Pot of Extravagance. We do know Jesse does have Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring in hand that he did add back, correct? Oh no, I'm thinking of a different game entirely. Sorry, it's all sort of melded together. Maybe I've manifested it.
He does have the Aldum, which is able to start searching other monsters and then going from there. Ooh.
Was that the Mandate? No, it's another. It's a Corsair?
It is a monster. See the Dracotail Flame be activated. Sting, sorry.
Sting, yep. Looking to just find more options now before Dom does get into the main phase.
Yep.
And is able to play. So maybe Jesse trying to find either another monster, maybe a 5 mana, just anything that'll allow him to play.
Or a point of interaction. That works as well.
Yep, Ash Blossom would be a great one to cut off like a Pot of Extravagance. I think that's sort of what he's aiming for. We put back the key to here. We did banish a Mystical Space Typhoon. That's always good as well. Getting the benefit of a draw is just the added bonus.
I'm really thinking about over his options right now.
As you mentioned before, no reason not to. They have all the time in the world. We are just here watching good dueling happen, and we'll crown a YCS champion in the process.
The Fallen and the Virtuous are being activated again, sending the Albion. Looking for a card.
Yeah, maybe Dom identifying, hey, like, we could potentially remove a body from the field here, making a card like 5 mana less impactful when he does start to play. It also enabled the Corsair because it is a quick play spell.
Yep, the Corsair was a card that he drew for turn. Also doesn't have the Monster Gate effect right now, right? Because I believe there's no Mystical Space Typhoon in the graveyard. It was just banished.
I think you might be confusing it with the Varun.
Varun, yeah, my bad. This one is, yeah. Varun's the one that negates. This one just adds.
Corsair, one of the best cards in this deck, lets you add a Radiant Typhoon card and a Mystical Space Typhoon. Just adding all of these extra cards to your hand at the drop of a hat. We've even seen, as I mentioned before, some people side decking it in other strategies because it is an enabler, it is an extra monster, and you can add Mystical Space Typhoon. Maybe answer a card like Dimensional Fissure. We're not seeing this currently, but it's something to consider for the people back home.
Oh, there, we do see the Varun get added to hand. Gonna activate the Mystical Space Typhoon.
Destroying the set Fallen and Virtuous. And we see Jesse just quickly evaluating and reading the Varun.
The Varun being able to special summon itself as well, and then because Mystical Space Typhoon would then be in the graveyard, it will be able to negate a monster effect.
Yeah, Jesse may be considering if he is activating the Fallen and Virtuous, targeting the Corsair here. That will remove a monster from the field.
Yep, but Varun can then be...
Oh, we're seeing a Rindrum being sent, potentially. No, oh no, he's thinking about it.
Sent it, did he? Sent the Rindrum. Right. He'll also use Rindrum at this point. Summon back the Fall under the White Dragon. Now he'll attempt to activate the Fall on the White Dragon.
It is able to summon back Ecclesia and Dark Dragon because it does have Ecclesia in the name, and that can access a card Artesia here. And we do know he does have the Rune Negate on board, but maybe there's a chance Dom makes a slight mistake and Jesse can get back in this game.
Yep, and Varun does have the negate now with the MST in the graveyard. A lot of contemplation on both sides. We can see that just from very few cards Dom had at the start of the turn, he's been able to progress his board quite far.
Yep, we have Eldam into Swen. Swen able to its effect. And we'll see where this one can go here. Can Dom close out the game? Or is it just going to be a case of Dom having so much advantage on Jesse that nothing does really matter? Adding Chant to hand here.
Yep, and being able to add a level 4 Law Radiant Typhoon monster from the deck to the hand, or NST from either deck or graveyard to hand.
See what Dom can muster up here. Not currently locked into anything, if I'm not mistaken, so extra deck access is still all available.
It's just the ideal monster to go into. Corsia locked him into wins. Corsia was summoned and added the Radiant Typhoon and Mystical Space Typhoon. He's locked into wins, but he's going to go into the Varun anyway.
No real concern there. I feel like most of the things that would be summoned from Dom's perspective are usually going to be of the win variety. I guess we do cut off maybe the Bamboozling Gossip Shadow, as well as any potential Super Poly shenanigans that may be in Dominic's deck. Otherwise, maybe SP Little Knight is another one that we could consider that is no longer accessible here.
Yeah, we see Chant at the Magala.
We have the Mandate, and that is everything online. Dom may be looking for the Mandate to draw him an extra card here.
Yep, putting back Fallen Virtuous, Chant, and Droplets. Again, it's just incredible how much decks are able to accumulate advantage off just single or two cards this format.
Yeah, cards like Corsia, Pot of Extravagance as well, in a strategy like this, just netting you 2 extra cards for the price of 1 activation. Quite amazing, and like the fact that you're able to play both of them in this deck as well just leads to you getting so much advantage off of a single card, snowballing into another card, repeat, repeat, repeat.
Yep, now we see the Magala come out. So Magala, again, being able to special summon a Radiant Typhoon monster from the deck with a different name from the monsters that you control.
Yep, so Dom really does just have everything. Jesse is out of interaction here, sort of just sitting back and watching it as it happens in real time. Kind of just hoping that Dom might not have a way to deal with the board that is already presented.
Now we see the Mystical Space Typhoon being activated to destroy the Mandate. Magala will be able to special summon. The Mandate will set itself, and the Varun also special summons itself from the graveyard. Now, he has just multiple points of interaction. It's going to be incredibly difficult, if possible at all, for Jesse to be able to play through this, you know, with the Phonics there being able to return 2 monsters as well.
Yep, this has picked apart the board quite well. Dom, you know, showing a masterclass in regards to how to play the Radiant Typhoon deck, utilizing every card in his deck list at this point. I think the only card we haven't seen is Vision.
And Vision, for all intents and purposes, mostly just other Radiant Typhoon cards.
More or less, yeah. Dom just quickly evaluating how he's meant to deal with what's left on the board. Probably likely just clarifying. This be it. I think it's quite close.
Yep.
The Wind Charmer, I think Dom did just shortcut that he would be summoning the Droll Lockbird.
Yep.
And then making the Doom Eagle. That is a card we saw in the old Tri-Brigade days, but it does gain 2400 attack while your opponent controls no monster in their graveyard, but it's also has the ability to target one monster in your opponent's grave, couple it into the deck, and basically just become an interaction in itself.
Yep. So we can see him power through. I believe Phonics has 3000 attack. Magala, on the other hand, has a measly 500.
Yep, Dom navigated all of this perfectly, managed to break the board, managed to get back, you know, his board state as well. We have the Mandate set up, we have, you know, the additional cards in hand. We'll have the redraw from the Mandate on Jesse's turn as well, and we are putting back the Arthur line from the Doom Eagles.
Yeah, it's a once per turn. You can decide every single turn, including your own, even if you don't anticipate you're getting much value from it or disrupting anything.
The Fallen and Virtuous set in the end phase. Looks like that is everything from Dom. We do have all of these interactions presented. We have the Doom Eagle as a means to shuffle back a card from Jesse's grave. We have the Phonics, which I do believe is a quick effect, or is it a...
I believe it's a quick effect. If
a quick play spell card is activated, right?
Yep. So, and he has a Fallen and Virtuous.
Yep. And Jesse, I believe, doesn't have a Fallen and Virtuous because he did send a Rinbrum instead of an Albion or an Albalenitus or otherwise. Oh, sorry, not Albalenitus, just the Albion. So he won't enable it himself, just trying to figure out how to navigate what is presented to him. And I believe a lot of it is face up. Dom doesn't have any other cards in hand.
Don't particularly need those when all you have enough interruptions.
Well, the Mandate could draw another card, so I guess he'll have one card in hand if we really get into it.
Jesse just going straight to a game 2. Dom's hand going second. Number of spells. I think I saw an Ash Blossom.
Jesse's starting with first action 5 mana. Not ideal, but if this does resolve uncontested, it can get a lot of things online. If it's double Dracotail name, looks to be triple at this point. Oh, so we're going for broke. We're trying to do what we can if we're Jesse Cotton. And that hand is not that great in the grand scheme of things, but I don't think anything can truly interact with the 5 mana there, so I don't think it really matters too much when you are going first here.
Yep, so you have Urgula, Fraxel,
It looks to be either, is that another 5 mana
It looks
or
like a second
Lucai's?
5 mana. So, I mean, your choice of cards to bring back to your hand is relatively limited, but you do get a full suite of Dracotail spells or traps.
Yeah, it could be as simple as adding back, you know, some corresponding cards and then having the option to either normal summon the Lucai's or normal summon the Frixel, using it to bounce back, just having extra bodies to fuse with on Dominic's turn. We'll see what Jesse does with this approach, but setting 3 cards, one being the Flame, the Kitu, and the Rahu, and then opting to add back all the cards that he fused with anyway, so no concern there.
It's an illusion of choice, right? If 2 of the cards in your graveyard are the same card, you're not really adding to the same.
That is fair, that is fair. He still has all of those interactions for the following turn as well, on top of the Rahu and the Kitu.
Yep. That's the Kitu being activated. Are we going to see the Ash Blossom? No, we're not.
We see Kitu adding Malulu, Malulu going to hand just as another form of interaction, just an additional negate. We have the Urgla as a spell and trap destruction, as well as the Pan to destroy a monster, but sometimes Malulu is the best bet you can have, especially against monsters that can't be destroyed by card effect.
Right, now we see the Pan and the Malulu being used. Gulamel?
Yep. Gulamel coming down just as another, again, interaction. It just lets you destroy another card while getting the benefit of the card you activated in the chain before it, so no reason not to pop that one down. You do also have the restrictions from cards like Rahu as well.
Another Rahu down, so does that mean either doesn't have the sting?
He likely has the sting in hand, honestly, yeah, that would make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Maybe we can see, I see a purple, yeah, or magenta for the purists.
Yep.
Then we have Frixel coming down. That will net 2 additional bodies here as well, summoning back out the Malulu and then returning itself to the hand. So we do just have all of this extra gas from Jesse, as well as the option to, you know, use all of these cards that we decided to set. There's just no concern there. Yep, just confirming what cards were set this turn. Totally within his rights. A Forbidden Droplet for turn.
Start off with Fallen the Virtuous.
Yep, likely activated in either the draw phase or the standby phase on the Malulu here.
Try and pick it off.
Unless Dom is aiming to maybe, you know, do some tricks here, maybe try to psych Jesse out that there is a card like Triple Tactics Thrust or Talents in his hand, and he might have done it in main 1.
Be thinking about using Flame?
That would be the most likely assumption here. Yeah, I don't think it's too far off. It could also be Horn. He could potentially use to bounce back the Malulu and use it as a point of interaction that way.
Yep, we got the Phonics back.
Yep, Phonics has definitely been paying dividends for Dom. I see a lot of people not like that card. It is generally a single copy, but it feels like each time he's had access to it, it's just been one of the best cards in his deck.
If you open 2 quick play spells, it just sounds like a card which is easily able to deal with multiple cards, being able to shuffle 2 cards of your opponents into their deck.
See if this one does demand an interaction here.
And gotta be mindful of its which position he summoned it in. In attack position, he's susceptible to Horn, but in defense position, he's only got 0 defense.
It could also be a a point where maybe Dom wants it in attack position, so Jesse does use Horn on it, and then another monster would go uncontested without worrying about Horn. Could be something to consider.
Be likely to see the Horn.
Does Dom have Dominus Purge in his hand, or am I mistaken? No, it's Ash Blossom, Forbidden Droplet, and a Trap.
Looks like Ash Purge Droplet.
Yeah.
Are we going to see a Dracotail Horn come out? Yep, so it's battle phase. The attack over the Gulamel will connect.
Yep, that one just removing another interaction from Jesse's end board. No reason not to. Maybe just trying to bait out that Horn. Maybe that was the intention all along. Dom's hand not looking too strong. I'm not sure if this is really able to do too much.
The droplets is cheeky in that if you ever try to attack over monsters still using.
That is true. That the other downside being a lot of these cards have already paid for themselves. But we see Dom activating another quick play spell. Could he have another Radiant Typhoon monster in his hand, and he's trying to activate a quick play to be able to trigger it?
Or he's just using droplets. By sending the Purge, Jesse can't use Horn or Flame, and then Onyx can return 2 cards.
So triggering the Varun as well as the Phonics here. Targeting both, I believe the Unknown as well, which we could assume is Sting, and then potentially chaining everything here. We could see Sting banishing the Albion, and then, well, definitely the Albion, right? We have to cut him off the Fallen and Virtuous. That would be the most reasonable assumption. Still don't have a Mystical Space Typhoon available for Dom.
Yep, so we get rid of the Purge and the Albion. Shuffle the key to, draw a card, and we lose the Flame, I believe.
Yep.
We get the Varun out. No Mystical Space Typhoon, so not able to negate a monster.
Yeah, but he does have 2 monsters on the field now, so he would be able to access some of his extra deck cards. We see the Horn on the Phonics. We have Ash for the Horn. And do we see 5 mana here? Yeah, I think this is good enough. Dom has nothing else. Really just sitting here, sitting back. Same thing with Jesse in the last game. It is untimed. You know, so both players are not really looking for time management. They're sort of just there to play their game. Frixel, Cartesia, and Urgula. Then we have Arthelion bouncing back everything, and Dom taking Charity. A nice fist bump between both competitors. Both, you know, playing at their best in the finals, in the final game of the finals as well. We have Dom starting out.
Extravagant. Extravagant's a great start.
It looks like a Noble Knight Shield Bearer as well, potentially, or a Swen. I could not tell. We'll see if this Extravagance does resolve.
How many copies of Dom play?
I believe it should be 3 copies with the Extravagance. I will just quickly confirm that for you. So we do have 3 copies of the Baroon in the extra deck and 3 copies of Albion the Branded Dragon. Everything else is currently a one-off.
Oh.
We see a Droll and Lockbird.
Do you see a Droll?
Oh my goodness, Jesse.
Be able to pick up a Call by the Grave or something? Oh. Wasn't.
Dom's still in a reasonable position. Droll obviously can be turn ending, but Dom does have Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. He does still have a suite of these green cards in his hand, and they can be interaction if needed, depending on what they are. So we'll see what Dom can muster up, what Dom can actually do here.
Yep, we see a Ant. Radiant Typhoon Ant. Be able to add a Mystical Space Typhoon. Other point of interaction. Like we said before, with the cards being quick play spells, effect of the draw. You had the same outcome before where you activated Chant and response draw and Lockbird.
Yeah, especially after an Extravagance, because usually it feels a lot worse if you activate a card to draw or a card to search, and you're only netting 1 card. At least part of Extravagance netted him 2 cards, and he was able to activate a quick play in response. So, worked out quite well for Dom. Maybe not the best, but still the best of a bad situation.
Yep, that will activate the trigger effect of Special Summon itself.
I think we see another copy of Pot of Extravagance in Dom's hand as well, alongside the Ash Blossom, as well as the Chant base Mystical Space Typhoon.
Extravagance, which has incredibly copies.
Eghala, yep. Mystical Space Typhoon activating to destroy that copy of Chant. And then I do believe we have some trigger effects here. We'll see how that goes. We are able to reset Chant as well as trigger the Meghala.
From the deck. Fraction.
We do see the Varun.
See that Dom's actually got quite an impressive. Even through the draw and Lockbird. Who wants to take a 2? Adding back the Space Typhoon.
I'm just evaluating his choices here, making sure to correct play. As we did mention before, it is an untimed finals, so seeing what he can do here.
Passes it.
Dom trying to figure out if he wants to do anything particularly early in the turn. Maybe to just set up some more interaction for Jesse's plays here.
Like there's also a Sheena in Bomb 10. Sheena, Ash Blossom, and Pot of Extravagance.
Not great, but quite manageable with the board that he has set up. Jesse just trying to dissect what he needs to do. And we see Dino Wrestler Pankratops. We did see this in some of the other Dracotail branded decks. Quite powerful here, being able to essentially trade off multiple cards and force out interaction at the drop of a hat. This might be amazing for Jesse right now.
Fallen of Albaz using Pegasus regular.
Yep, now he will have the ability to make the Mirror Jade, which is just another concern for Dom here. It's another card. Jesse hasn't even activated a card that Dom can Ash Blossom. Not yet, at least. These are just two very big monsters coming to the field in such a short period of time without even going into the deck.
Find the effect of Sheena. Looks like the effect to special summon itself and to trigger it, what it responded to is activated in the same effect.
Yep. So everything resolves all at once. So a monster effect was activated, and we would be returning all face-up monsters on the field to the hand except for Sheena. Jesse just trying to figure out how to interact here. Would it be the Pankratops trying to get rid of the monster on the field, or a set spell and trap? Looks to be the Megala. Yep, and the Fallen of Albaz returning to the hand, unable to resolve with effect because it no longer has itself. Yep. Sheena. Jesse currently has a Fallen of Albaz as well as 2 additional cards. Not looking good for Jesse right now. The Chant being activated, Mystical Space Typhoon being chained. Adding a copy of Eldom.
Can't set off again.
Yep. And then we see the Varun being summoned here as well.
Yep. And it has a monster activation. That was a turn by.
Yeah, definitely. Jesse, unfortunately, drawing the Fallen of Albaz, trying to make the best of a bad situation. We see the Sheena coming in clutch, like we did in the Genesis game as well. Just really, really powerful card.
What he has.
It does look like it's Dom's turn, actually. I think Jesse did pass, yeah.
Well, that explains Dom's option. Alright, we have... Right, so we have Dom's turn. Dom just flying through, summoning all his monsters. He's got a clear board to attack in. But he's making sure dots all his I's, crosses all his T's before he goes for that.
No reason not
push.
to. Don't throw everything into the wind. You may as well do what you would do in a normal game. There is no time limit. Take your time. Try to make the best decision you can. Exactly what Dom is doing. Jesse's been doing the same. Dom, however, commanding lead right now. I think he's trying to figure out, can I close out the game immediately? Or do I close the game out over 2 turns? Jesse did pass with 3 cards in hand. Would it be enough?
I believe might just be it. If Onyx gets searched.
We see the Glen coming down as well. Dom is really just generating a bunch of free cards. Jesse's just sitting back and watching, as we mentioned before. Not really much he can do here once we've gotten to this point as well. So just rolling with the punches. No reason to concede because it is untimed. I'll reiterate that one. There is no time limit. We're going to see what Dom can do this turn. Can he close the game out? We do see...
Fly.
I don't believe that is its exact name.
No,
I will
but
just
that was
double
the
check,
original.
but that was the original. I do believe that was the OG.
And there we have
All right.
Dom is